Okay, so I've got 300. So I need to order some of the bookmarks. Okay. So I need to just make a note. Okay. Right, so I need to get these sent off as well. So I just pop them in a plastic wallet to keep them safe. Okay. Okay, I'll file those later. Fabulous. Oh, hello. Sorry, you've just caught me in the middle of doing a bit of a stock check and a bit of a sort out. We've had quite a quiet day today, so I thought I'd take advantage and just get myself back on track. How are you this evening? Yeah? Oh, fabulous. And what's your name? Wonderful. I'm Abby. It's an absolute pleasure to meet you. So, would you just bear with me just for 5 seconds? I've just got to make a note of this quickly and then I'll be with you, I promise. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you very much. If I don't do it, I'll forget. I've got a brain like a sieve. So, welcome to my bookstore. It's an academic bookstore, and I'm here to help you, give you some advice on whatever particular course you might be doing. I've got lots of textbooks we can go through. What sort of thing did you have in mind? Okay. Yep. Fabulous. Oh, that's brilliant. Yes, we've got a lot of books on health and social care. So is there anything in particular, or are you just thinking about the course at the moment, or where are you up to? Okay, so you've applied and you've been accepted. Fabulous. That's brilliant. That's amazing. Okay, I'm just going to put my notebook aside. Okay, so in general then, we're looking at lots of books to do with health and social care, bit of mental health, looking at maybe ways of researching as well, because is that quite new to you, researching? Are you aware? Good. Fabulous. Yes. That really helps, doesn't it? Absolutely. Yeah, that's marvellous. I'm just going to have a little look on my system and just check whether we've got stuff on what you require. Okay, I'm sure we have, because I know we've got so many books. So just bear with me 1 second. Okay, that's marvellous. So do you have time to go through them? Because I've pulled up a few here that I'd like to actually go through with you. Yeah, you do? Fabulous. I've actually got myself a cup of tea here. Would you like a drink of any kind? No, you're okay. Wonderful. Do you mind if I partake? Thank you. Okay, so I've just pulled up some books here for you. Okay, and the first one I'd like to have a look at, I'm just going to move my keyboard out the way slightly. This book is a textbook of health and social care, and it's edited by Darren J. Edwards and Stephanie Best. And I know this is a essential book for students starting a health and social care degree. It's very much easy to follow, and it's all laid out beautifully. There's some nice graphics as well. There's some nice simple tables for you to follow. Okay, so if we have a little look in the chapters, okay. So part 1 is about underpinning knowledge. So there is a chapter on the sociology of health and illness. There's a chapter on psychology of health and illness, academic skills and practice, which is essential as well. There is the research process in health and social care, which will really help you as well as you go through your degree. There's a law relating to health and social care, so that's an introduction to some key principles, so that's very useful. There's further key principles on that, and there's reflective thinking and reflective practice and critical thinking, which will be essential as you go forward. Physiological effects of ageing in the older adults. Then part 2 covers health and social care in action. So it talks about safeguarding. There's a chapter on childcare. There's a chapter on health promotion and health psychology. I know you specifically mentioned health promotion and mental health as well. There's a chapter here on children's rights and participation, if you're interested in children, but I'm sure you have to cover all that as well. Working with persons experiencing mental disorders, so mental health conditions, so that's very interesting for you. There's determinants of poor mental health and the road to recovery. Then part 3 talks about contemporary topics. So there's using and developing evidence in health and social care practice. Leadership and management, which is essential, isn't it? You're getting your degree, you're obviously looking towards the more leadership role. Legal and ethical considerations in health and social care. Equality, intersectionality and anti-oppressive practice, obviously very essential in all health and social care roles. Social justice issues in health and social care. Disability policy and provision in health and social care, and health inequalities. Okay, so the editors of this book are very academically strong. They're both lecturers and researchers, and they've got many years of experience. Okay, and there's lots about the contributors there as well. Okay, and there's a nice introduction to the book here, and it says, which I find quite interesting, that the textbook's been designed to be interactive. So each chapter has participatory activities, which is quite good because that will help you to apply the reading. And it says that these activities include pause for thought, which is where you'll be encouraged to stop and think about how you could use the information provided in the chapter. So that gives you some sort of practical applications for the knowledge you're reading. There's case studies, which include real life examples related to chapter content. And it says that you can look up some further information if it's a particular area of interest to you. There's activities where you're invited to complete a task which will cement your learning, which is very good. And there's go further activities where the author will make some suggestions as to how you can deepen your learning and understanding. And there is also further reading and useful websites, which is really good when you're doing your research, because the further reading will then give you a go-to list of places you can look for more research to back up your evidence. So that's really good. Okay, and then there are answers to some of the activities. Okay, so you can find that at the end of each chapter, So if you're struggling a little bit, they give you a little bit of help as well. So it's a lovely book, and it covers a multitude of areas of topics, areas of interest. Okay, so there we go. There's activity there which you can test yourself, which is quite good, isn't it? There's lots of information there as well. So I have had very good feedback for this book. So I highly recommend this as a general, broad outline to the subject you're reading about, and also before you start your course, it's really good to delve in and just get a little bit of a head start. So what are we thinking about that one at the moment? Yes, absolutely, yes, fabulous. So if I put that in our maybe pile, okay, we can come back to that one. Okay, so the next book I'd like us to have a little look at is it's quite a heavy, big book, so you wouldn't really want to be carrying this around with you, but good for at home study. So this is a beautiful book. It's got a lovely cover on it, a nice abstract painting of two faces, so to give some representation of mental health there. And this book is called The Art and Science of Mental Health Nursing, Principles and Practice. And this is the 4th edition, and it's edited by Ian Norman and Ian Ryrie. Okay, and I like this book because I think it's very laid out very simply. It's got these columns which are nice and easy to follow. I find the language is quite simple to follow as well. It doesn't try to be too academic in its presentation, so I quite like that. There's lots of tables and things as well, so it's nice and easy to pick up and find what you're looking for. So very useful book there. So we'll just have a little look at the table of contents. Okay, there's a brief table of contents here, okay, and there is a more detailed one on the next page. Okay, so if you wanted to have a little look through that, please feel free to go ahead. Okay, so the part 1 of the book is about foundations. So the first part is just about mental health itself, then mental disorder, and then the story of mental health nursing. So from asylum attendants to graduate practitioners. So that's quite interesting to get the background of how mental health nursing has evolved. There's recovery, rights and social inclusion, which I think is now what we really focus on, isn't it? Which is fabulous. Excuse me. Okay, so part 2 we're looking at contexts. So there's the social policy context of mental health care, the service context and organisation of mental health care, mental health and the law, very important, the ethics of mental health nursing, again, very, very important. Okay, part 3, we're focusing on core procedures. Okay, so that includes the therapeutic relationship, so engaging clients in their care and treatment, embodied recovery environments, assessments, care planning, admission and discharge planning, assessing and managing the risk of self-harm and suicide, identifying and managing the risk of aggression and violence. Okay. Then part 4, we're looking at client groups. So there's children and young people, functional mental health disorders in old age, the person with dementia, the person experiencing psychosis, the person with depression. I quite like the language they use there. It's not, somebody suffering with depression. It's a person with depression. They are a person first, aren't they? I quite like that approach. The person with bipolar disorder, biopsychosocial approaches to relapse prevention. The person with an anxiety disorder, the person who experiences trauma, the person with an eating disorder, the person with coexisting mental illness and substance use problems, the person with a personality disorder, and forensic mental health care. Very interesting, very interesting. So part 5 is about interventions. Okay, so we have self-management, which is obviously our base level. Counselling approaches, very important. Brief cognitive behaviour therapy interventions for nursing practice. Solution-focused approaches. And motivational interviewing. Working with groups. Working with families and carers. Psychopharmacology, bear with me. Mental health medication in practice. Medication adherence through shared decision making. Promoting mental health and well-being. And the physical care of people with mental health problems. And then part 6 focuses on professional practice. Okay, so professional practice, caring for ourselves, which I think is extremely important when you're working with people with mental health problems. It's an extremely emotional and difficult job, isn't it? But so worthwhile. Okay, so you can just see how the book's set out there. Some nice tables. All the subjects are broken up into sort of sub-chapters, which makes it nice and easy to find specific information. There's conclusions in every chapter as well, which is really good. Okay, so that's a beautiful book. Okay, and on the back here there's some nice sort of praise for the book as well, so that's really good. And it says here that this is a must-buy for all mental health nursing students and nurses in registered practice. Comprehensive and broad, it explores how mental health nursing has a positive impact on the lives of people with mental health difficulties. And it says there are several features to help you get the most out of each chapter and apply theory to practice, including personal stories, which provide insight into the experience of mental health difficulties from the perspective of service users and their carers. Really important. There's thinking spaces, which help you to reflect on your practice and assess your learning individually and in groups, with further advice guidance available online. And essential recommended resources, so additional materials and support to help you extend your learning. So that's really, really good, isn't it? So that's a beautiful book. It is Open University Press as well. So what are we thinking about this book at the moment? Yes, absolutely. And it may not be that you need to delve into all of this, but it's just going to be those specific areas that you wish to focus on. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I'll put that aside for now, okay? I'm just going to have a drink of tea, bear with me. Lovely. Okay, and we're still on the subject of mental health. Okay, and this is a lovely book as well. It's got a beautiful cover. I love this cover. It's birds sort of coming out of the cage, which is how we like to think we can help people, isn't it? So if we have a look on the back, this is an introduction to mental health, and it's by Joe Augustus, Justine Bold and Brian E. Williams. And if we have a look on the back, it says here that this is written for an interdisciplinary audience with a patient-centered focus. It's an essential reading for anyone learning the fundamentals of mental health, which is kind of where you're at, isn't it, at the moment? So, covering historical context through to contemporary issues, including mental health as it relates to the law and to policy. Students will find much to broaden and deepen their knowledge. Key learning features such as concept summaries, reflective points, case studies, and reflective exercises also help you to situate content in the context of practice as you work towards qualification. Okay. So let's have a little look inside the book. Okay, so we've got a list of contents. So this gives you an idea of what you'll find inside the book. So the first chapter is a history to mental health. History of mental health, I beg your pardon, and that's important, isn't it, so that we get an idea of what practice used to be like, how people used to be treated, and it shows how we are evolving and how important it is to evolve. There is mental health law, okay, very important, and mental health policy. There is a chapter on mental health professionals, so you get an idea of who does what along the line of the treatment process. There's a mental health diagnostic criteria, which is probably quite a heavy chapter but very important. Interventions, obviously essential. Ethical practice and decision making in mental health. Equality and diversity in mental health practice. Societal influence on mental health, and international perspectives on mental health. Okay, so there's a little bit about the authors, some acknowledgements. Okay, there's an introduction there, which it says that they hope that the book will inform the professional training of the many health professionals and practitioners working with patients with mental health difficulties, which includes social workers, mental health professionals, doctors, nurses, occupational therapists, counsellors, nutrition, and CAM practitioners. So helping to optimise available treatment options and improve chances of recovery for people affected by mental health problems. So if we just have a little look, so it's all very simply laid out, nice clear sub-chapters there. Okay, so you can have a look through, and obviously you've got your index there, so if you wanted to look for something in particular it would take you straight to those pages. Okay, so that's a lovely book. I like that book. Nice and simple, nice and easy to follow. Okay, so what do we think about that book? Have we got any opinions? Yeah, okay, yes, absolutely. So I'll pop that in our pile as well. Okay, the other thing that you have to do during your health and social care degree is think about how you can use reflective practice. Okay, and this book is very good. Okay, so this is called The Reflective Journal and it's by Barbara Bassett, and this is the 3rd edition. Okay, so if we look on the back page, okay, it says that the Reflective Journal is a uniquely inspiring introduction to critically reflective practice, a powerful tool for processing your thoughts, feelings and actions. This book will lead you to a deeper understanding of your working practice, enabling you to achieve your professional goals, including a wide range of fresh material from reflective creativity to self-care and resilience. This new edition also contains brand new case studies and example journal extracts to prompt further reflection, with writing space for your own thoughts and an abundance of advice on career development. The Reflective Journal is an essential resource that you can make completely your own. So it's almost like a bit of a notebook. So it says that it's been divided into 3 sections. So the first section introduces you to key theories of critically reflective practice, showing how you can use these to gain greater self-awareness, build resilience, foster your well-being, and develop your work creatively. Space for writing is provided to help you get started. The second section is designed to support you in writing more freely. Quotations, structured activities, and helpful prompts encourage you to write at a deeper level. The final section explores where next and is designed to help you see what could be on the horizon. Says a number of my own students who have studied critically reflective practice have said, I knew I would learn a lot on my course, but I didn't realise I would learn so much about myself. Okay, so it is a lovely little book and you can carry it around and make notes as well. So let's have a little look. So the contents, so in part 1, it says there are models and tools for reflection. So it's split into themes. So theme 1 talks about the beginnings, so starting something new, the metaphorical mirror, motivation, investing time in reflection, how I learn best, which is really important for going forward in your course, is to identify how you learn best, because everybody learns at different times of day. Everybody is more attuned at certain times of the day, or they prefer certain ways of learning. Some people like to read, some people like to listen, some people like to practically write. You know, it's all very individual. Theme 2 is starting to write reflectively. So it goes, how do I know if I am writing reflectively? The purpose of reflective writing. It's all about the RAS, which I'm not sure what that is, a structure for reflective writing, dialogical writing. Theme 3 is learning from experience. So it's the ERA model, Driscoll's Watt model, Kolb's experiential learning cycle, progression and regression, problematic experiences or positive ones. Theme 4 is the practice of reflection. So what does it mean to be professional? A professional. Reflection on action and reflection in action. Critical incident analysis. 4 critical lenses for reflective practice. Learning from feedback. Theme 5 is about building resilience. So what is resilience? Self-care, coping with memories and feelings, processing feelings, growth and development, working with assumptions, a pedagogy of discomfort, reflection, reflectivity and reflexivity. There's a lot of R words there, isn't there? And agreus, I can't say that, sorry, ladder of inference, take nothing for granted, double loop learning, okay? So theme 7 is about ethics and values. So ethics and values, what's the difference? Transactional analysis drivers, me, my, more, must, a value-based model. Striving for anti-discriminatory practice. Who holds the power in professional relationships? Theme 8 is about reflecting with others. So models of supervision. How to engage effectively with supervision. The reflective conversation. Reflecting in groups. Action learning sets. Okay, so theme 9 is about creativity in reflective practice. So professional practice as artistry, letter writing, using visuals in reflection, listening to my own voice, from patches to quilts. Not quite sure what that's about, but I'm sure it'd be interesting to read. Theme 10 is reflective practice for personal and professional well-being. So it's building professional confidence, managing change, managing stress, the integrated reflective cycle, composting reflections. Okay, and then part 2 is more space for reflection, and part 3 is career development. Okay, so we have a little look at some of the areas. So it's nice and simply laid out, and you've got nice spaces here for writing your own thoughts down. So here it says about describing recent experiences of transitions. So have you experienced any of the bridges, stages, it says? If so, which ones stand out in your memory? Are there any that do not seem appropriate to your situation? So you can use this space here to write some of your reflections, okay? So it's a beautifully laid out book, okay? There's some lovely pages there, okay? And if we have a look at the back, there we've got a really interesting part on career development there. Lots of pages here for you to do your own activities and think about your own reflection, okay? So I really think that's an essential book for the course that you're doing. So what are you thinking about that? Yeah, obviously there's lots of other books about reflective practice and about thinking critically about your practice. So I strongly advise you to do some really good research into that area as well. Yes, okay, fabulous. So I shall put that in our pile. Okay. So also when we're talking about degrees, we need to think about research methods, okay? And this is a nice book, and it's by Bob Matthews and Liz Ross, okay? And it's a practical guide for the social sciences, so it's perfect for where you are and your course that you are planning on doing. So we're thinking about your dissertation, we're thinking about areas of research that you're going to have to do throughout your course, okay? So if we look at the back here, we've got some praise here for the book, which is really good. And it says here, whether you're doing social research for the first time or taking on more advanced work, research methods will inform and improve your understanding and practice. So it says it's more than a comprehensive practical guide. This book offers a rigorous analysis of why researchers choose the methods they use. So drawing upon academic and professional sources, research methods demonstrates how theory underpins practice and helps you select the most appropriate techniques for collecting data and analysing your findings, while remaining ethically and culturally sensitive. It says Matthews and Ross pay particular attention to the areas students find most challenging, with a visual guide to using SPSS and Excel in data analysis and an extensive look at data presentation. This book supports the student researcher throughout every stage of the research process. So it says it is for anybody who is conducting research in sociology, health policy, social work, criminology, social policy, cultural studies, political studies, public policy, education and related fields. Okay, so very good for your course. Okay, so if we have a little look, there's also an interactive and online link here that you can go on to, which is really good. So that's a little bit extra as well. So we have a brief contents list here. So part A is about thinking about research. So this is split into what is research, knowledge theories, paradigms and perspectives, the nature of data, research questions, hypotheses and operational definitions, research as an ethical and cultural issue. Part B is about preparing for research. So this talks about planning a research project, reviewing the literature, research design, choosing methods, sampling and research proposals. Okay. Part C is about data collection. So collecting data, data collection skills. So there's questionnaires, semi-structured interviews, focus groups, observation, narrative data, documents, secondary sources of data, collecting data using computer-mediated communication. So that's very complicated to me. Part D is data analysis. So beginning to analyse, working with data, statistical analysis, thematic analysis, analysing narrative, discourse analysis, content analysis, grounded theory, using computers in data analysis, so what, drawing conclusions. And then part E talks about data presentation and reports. So the importance of audience, writing for research, reports and dissertations, data presentation, dissemination and further research. Okay, so if we have a little look, so let's have a little look at how the book's set out. So again, nice and simply laid out, lots of small bite-size bits of information, so it helps you to look for exactly what you need, gives you a real overview of research. Okay, lots of further reading as well, which helps then to gain more evidence for your assignments. Okay, finding evidence is quite difficult, so I always find these areas of further reading absolutely invaluable. I think they call it snowballing or something, don't they? But yeah, very useful. Okay, so it's nicely coloured as well, nice and bright. Okay, and there's, yeah, it's a very good book, really. What are we thinking about this book? Yeah, okay, so we'll pop that in our pile as well. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so the last book really that I want to show you at the moment is something that you discussed at the beginning. So this is regarding health promotion, which I know is something that you are quite interested in. It's something that you want to focus on in some of your assignments, which is fantastic. So this book is called Foundations for Health Promotion, and it's by Jenny Nadu and Jane Wills, and it's the 4th edition. Okay, so obviously this gives you a very sort of good basis for learning about health promotion. So if we look at the back, it says the 4th edition of Foundations for Health Promotion continues to offer a wealth of information in a friendly, easy to read format. It's very essential, that, isn't it? This edition has been comprehensively updated and includes a new feature of learning activities with indicative answers to help students and practitioners to reflect on their practice. Pull-out boxes of case studies and examples help the reader to identify the evidence base for health promotion and illustrate the range of health promotion practice. Divided into 4 parts, the book explains the theoretical concepts of health, health education, and health promotion, and the ethical and political aspects of practice. The second part explores strategies to promote health and some of the dilemmas that they pose. The third part explores how a range of different settings, such as hospitals and schools, can be orientated towards positive health and well-being. The 4th part focuses on the implementation of health promotion interventions and is designed to help practitioners to reflect on their practice by examining what drives their choice of strategy. Okay, so key features are a comprehensive updating and expansion to reflect recent research findings and major organisational and policy changes. Clear structure and signposting for ease of reading and study. A wide choice of examples and illustrative case studies reflect the needs of a variety of professional groups in health services, local and municipal services and education. Interactive learning activities with indicative answers help readers consolidate their learning. Okay, so as you can see, it's beautifully laid out, nice and simple, so you can go straight to the area that you need to be looking at. Okay, so let's have a little look at the contents page here. Okay, again it's split into different parts. Okay, so part 1 concerns the theory of health promotion. Okay, so concepts of health, influences on health, measuring health, defining health promotion, models and approaches to health promotion, ethical issues in health promotion, the politics of health promotion. Okay, so part 2 talks about strategies and methods. So reorientating health services, developing personal skills, strengthening community action, developing healthy public policy, using media in health promotion. Part 3 is about settings for health promotion. Health promoting schools, health promoting workplaces, health promoting neighbourhoods, health promoting health services, health promoting prisons. Part 4 is implementing health promotion. So assessing health needs, planning health promotion interventions, evaluating health promotion interventions. So it's quite comprehensive, okay? And as you can see, part 1 gives you the different areas there, what pages you can find them on. Okay, so there's lots of nice figures, diagrams, so it just gives that practical element to what you're reading. Okay, so that's a lovely book, nice and simple, nice and easy to follow. Some determinants of health there. Okay, so really nice book. I think that would be really interesting, not just for this course but for your possible career going forward. So what are we thinking about that one? Yes, fabulous. Okay, so I think we're running out of time, aren't we? I think you said you had an hour, so if we start to wrap up now. So how do you feel about that particular choice to be starting with? Yeah. So would you like me to reserve these books for you to come back and collect at a later time? Yeah. Okay, that's wonderful. I'm just going to make a quick note. Okay, so bear with me. So can I just take your full name? Is that okay? Can you just spell that surname for me? And have you got a telephone number I can call you on? Thank you. And have you got an address at all? And a postcode there? Okay, fabulous. Okay, so you're interested in all the books we've been through? Yeah? Beautiful. Okay, so I'm just going to make a little note of those books for you. And the last one. That's fantastic. Okay, so what I will do then is I will give you a call at some point. I'll get these books all prepared for you and all ready to go. Okay, and it would be wonderful if I could see you again, and perhaps we could go through some other books with you as well. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'd like to thank you for your time today, and feel free to give me a call, okay, if you need any more advice or any information. Okay, and I look forward to seeing you again. Take care, my lovely. Bye bye.